Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? We are back with the finals of the IDM versus our buddy Nova Hawk, aka Playoff P, aka the Cleaner, aka Mt Rushmore Slayer, good friend of mine, ITL contestant for the longest time. We always have some trash talk going, but he's a great guy, solid player for sure. And it's an interesting matchup for sure, as you see, he has like big Zygarde, Tangrowth, nice Veil, Hippowdon, Tran, and Mega Scizor. You also had Clefable and Toxapex on the squad, both of which I actually expected to come. Also Driller and Alolan Persian. Those two I didn't really think would come, but there was a chance like pretty much every single mon on on his roster could come versus me. So it was like a pretty tough prep, but yeah, the GOAT myself, I came prepared for this match. And yeah, before we hop into the battle, go over my team real quick. Alakazam, Mega Alakazam edition. Very bulky, max HP, like 1/6 in defense. To chew like a +1,000 arrows from Zygarde with ease or +1 outrage. Psychic HP Fire, Recover Encore with like enough speed for pretty much as fast as Mon, I think. Oh no, with just enough speed for a lot of Ninetales. I didn't try to creep a lot in person. I didn't think it was likely to come, and I like didn't really gain anything from outspeeding it because I didn't have a move to touch it. So and like I just wanted to bulk more. Alakazam pretty much goes the inverse of my opponent. Bob's offensive Scissor with Psychic into HP Fire. 2-hit KOs, physically defensive Tank. 2-hit KOs, offensive Zygarde. 2-hit KOs, Hippowdon unless it's specially defensive. And specially defensive Hippowdon is pretty much, if it switches in on a Psychic, it's forced to recover up or attack me, which means I either 3-hit KO it on the switch or I can lock it into Slack off with the Encore. So not really a counter. Heatran, my boy Nova, Playoff P, he spammed offensive Tran most season, and offensive Tran takes like 30 from Psychic, which is solid chip for sure. Makes it hard for the thing to switch into like Zapdos and shit like that, or into Aegislash. So I was pretty fine with not having Focus Blast for that thing. And if he was like a Scarf variant, he can't lock himself into a Fire type move if Mega Alakazam is still around. And Mega Alakazam actually, it isn't too KO'd by Scarf moves from Heatran once I get the Mega off, because he can't Magma Storm me, and I think I chew like Timid Scarf, Flash can't do it KO me, which is pretty clean. And if I see Scarf, then I can just like go into Zapdos on those, or into Aegislash and fire off a big hit. Zapdos, the next one on my squad. Enough speed for Adamant Zygarde. Modest nature, 200 EVs I think in there. Rest in HP and defense. Life-Orb variant with Roost, Defog, Thunderbolt, and HP Ice. Pretty much hits his entire team hard. Can't do it KO, especially defensive Scissor, but I got the tag to help Zapdos be dead. So the help is actually Alomomola with Soak. Pretty interesting Alo set. Physically defensive, almost max Physdeath. I just got 24 EVs and special attack to break a max Split Death Zygarde sub with it, which is cool. Soak, Wish Protect, Ice Beam. Pretty interesting set because like obviously Soak and Ice Beam don't go hand in hand. But the thing is, Zygarde isn't switching in hard on Alomomola most of the time. And if he's not a sub-variant and he sees Soak, he probably is inclined to switch out, because then he has to fear Toxic. And like versus every other mon, I can just click Soak to take Step Away and Wish Pass into Zapdos. Like look at this. Tangrowth, I Soak, Giga Drain can't do it, KO Alo if it's AV. I Wish or I Protect just to get Lefty's back, and then I can go either hard into Zapdos or Wish Pass into it. Ninetales can't bob me with Freeze Dry if I Soak it. Hippowdon, I can go hard into Zap and Defog Rocks away, because it usually won't have a move that touches me, because it's probably Stealth Rock, Toxic, Slack Off, and Earthquake. Maybe Whirlwind over something else, but there's no way he runs Stone Edge, so easy Wish Pass there. Threaten it out with the T-Bolt. Heatran, same thing. Can't really do much to me if I Soak it, even though like I don't want to get trapped by Magma Storm, Solar Beam variant with the power up, but I can always scout for that by clicking Protect. Even if he's sub, it's not too big of a deal. I got Encore on Zam, so not too worried. And it obviously helps with Assist, because I Soak Scissor and then can go into Zapdos, shoot a hit, because like Zapdos walls pretty much every scissor in the game unless it gets to +4, +6, it knocks me. But I can just like do like 80 with the Thunderbolt of the Soak, so that's cool. And versus Zygarde, I can just click Ice Beam, never clicking Soak versus that unless it's like a defensive call variant, so I can soak it and get Dango into Zapdos. Anyway, next mon, Garchomp. My opponent does not have a ground immunity, so I only got Earthquake on this with the Z ground. Enough speed for Zygarde, Adamant Nature, lots of bulk actually. Toxic, Substitute, Sword Stance. Pretty much covers everything you can throw at me. Earthquake into Z Earthquake, Bobs, Unaware Clefable if he switches in. After lefties, after he gets lefties back. I can scout for Unaware by clicking Toxic. Toxic also catches the main switch-ins into Garchomp in Tangrowth and Hippowdon. EQ, Bobs, pretty much everything at +2. Physically defensive Hippowdon. It's a roll, I think, to knock it out with +2 Tectonic Rage, but he has to be specially defensive versus my squad. Fizdev doesn't make sense unless he's like Fizdev Ice Fang or something for my Garchomp, but I don't think he would dedicate Hippowdon solely for Garchomp. Just doesn't make much sense. So Toxic is clean because Toxic Sub especially is clean because Tangrowth is probably the first switch in looking at this team, and I can just like Earthquake on the switch, and then because he probably will be AV, or potentially I will see it if he's AV, he probably is inclined to knock off first because Garchomp can't break the shit, so he's pretty much like thinking he has a free knock and I can just Toxic it, or like just sub up on a switch into Tangrowth and then pretty much switch into something that resists grass so I can like get a free switch in. Or I can just Toxic it or SD up and shit like that, see what kind of moves he has. If he doesn't have HPIs, I'm good. And can potentially get to +4 versus it, and then bop it with the Z Earthquake, so gives me some outs versus some of his fatter stuff, and lets me scout for Unaware Clef, which is cool. Aegislash, pretty clean set, specs variant, modest specs, just some slight speed to outrun Clefable, hopefully like 28 speedy Vs, and rest in bulk. Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, HPIs, Adamant Zygarde can't OHKO me, which is cool, so I can just stay in and click the HPIs versus it, not giving it a free setup. And the last move is Brick Break, because Alone Tails could come versus me. It's annoying to have if it comes, and I can just like bring an Aggie hard on this thing, click Brick Break on the switch out to Zygarde, forcing him to either like switch out again or like just attack or set up, but then my Piloswine after Brick Break damage kills probably with 3 Icicle Spear hits. Piloswine here, last one of my squad that we have to go over. Curse, Protect, Earthquake, Icicle Spear, Adamant, but close to max defense. Check Zygarde super well, especially with Protect. Protect allows me to scout for Z moves and pretty much burn it. Like +1 Z Outrage does like 20% max, and after that I can just click the Icicle Spear. +1 Outrage does like, what does it do? Like does some pitiful damage, like 50 or so. And I can curse up if I want to, versus some Zygarde variants if he's like locked into Outrage or something and isn't even like boosted or so. I can curse up. Curse allows me pretty much to beat an entire team once I remove the Tangrowth and weaken the Scissor, or the Scissor is not SD, which is cool. So yeah, Piloswine, gotta play it very carefully. So same with the Aloe, because those two are pretty much alongside Zapdos are pretty much here to check his 2 biggest offensive threats, and Scissor and Zygarde. And if I play those 3 correctly, it's gonna be hard for me to lose this game. At least that's what I think. That's what I thought in prep, but we'll see how this goes. We will hop into the battle now. I decided to lead off with Garchomp. Reason being, my opponent led with his Rockers turn 1 pretty much every game, so, and Garchomp can Toxic Hippowdon, which opens up for Alakazam and Specs Aegislash. If he's like classic mixed Hippowdon, it's 2-hit KO on the switch in if it's Toxic by Alakazam Psychic, so that's clean. And if he leads Tran, even if it's Scarfed and has the HPIs, I'm designed to live a modest HPIs from Scarf Tran, and I can just Earthquake it, remove it to open up Zapdos, open up Aegislash, help Piloswine winning. So yeah, it covers pretty much every potential lead. If you lead Scissor, not a big deal. I can just go into my Zapdos, try and catch him, try and catch him on the U-turn, or I can just like SD up in his face because +2 Z Earthquake bobs Scissor. Even if he's SD, like fat SD, I can just bob it with the Z Earthquake, unless it's like max defense or so. But that's not the Scissor I expect. I expect more from mixed defensive Scissor versus me, just to have a backup check to Alakazam, Chomp, and Aegislash all in one mon. So I lead Garchomp. My opponent actually leads with Ninetales Alola. There was another potential lead on his end, but versus Ninetales, because I have Brick Break, I can just go hard Aegislash. And yeah, my opponent doesn't have a Ghost Resist on his roster. Like he has Alone Persian, but that takes like 45 from Specs. Shadow Ball, so that's not really switching. He just goes for the turn 1 Blizzard. Smart play, in my opinion. Makes me think he might be what's it called? Might be Scarf, because it doesn't scout for Scarf Jump, but I would never lock myself into Poison Jacket, to be fair, because it doesn't even knock it out. So I think Blizzard was the safest play here. If I was like a Sash lead, he kills me with the Blizzard into Hail, and I could have gotten up my rocks. And if he's Defox Scissor, he gains a lot by that from the turn. I go into my Aegislash, seeing that he has max special attack, 9 sets are close to it. Good to know, but he can't really stay in and click the Aurora Veil here, because that would mean a dead 9 sets if I just click Flash Cannon or Iron Head, depending on my set, and I can just pretty much like play around Veil for a couple turns, because my team is still healthy as fuck and pretty much yeah, able to wall Zygarde even behind the Veil at this point. So his best play is to switch out probably into Tran or AV Tangrowth or Spadef Hippo. AV Tang with Hail is actually 2 KO'd by Shadow Ball, and so is, I think, Hippowdon, depending on... Now, Hippowdon is not if it's max special defense, but if it's like Impish with a lot of special defense, it's 2 KO'd, so get a free Shadow Ball here, especially with the Scissor not being Mega Evolved yet. I go for the Shadow Ball, he brings in Heatran, and this does 70. Big damage, and like I chipped on Heatran, which is great for my Piloswine, which is great for my Zapdos, which is great for my Zam, because now Zam revenges this fucker. And yeah, I have a pretty much free Chomp here. He kinda is forced to attack or get up his rocks. If he gets up his rocks, I wanna be able to either revenge him or force him out, and I could like just sub on the on the first turn, like after bringing in Chomper, and then go from there. But he just keeps Magma Storm, and this is Specs Heatran, and this does a fuck ton, puts me below 50 with damage, and I have to click Earthquake here, and he actually stays in, so that's good for me. I get up 6-5 early in the game, and Chomper is still here. Ninetales Alola comes in, I go back into Aegislash, I see sets up his Veil here, could have Earthquake or so, but I just go for the Brick Break here on the incoming tank, and this Tangrowth gives me a free Garchomp here. Nice rough skin chip as he knocks off, like I read the knockoff there, but it was his best play, easily, because I'm not thinking of clicking Brick Break. If I do, he does a fuck ton of damage to my Aggie, and takes like 16 from the Brick Break. But now I got a free Toxic. He has to pretty much stay in and take the hit here. If I'm Z-Drake, he's in a bad spot, but I'm not. I just Toxic it, and then go into Zam. Zam hard walls Tangrowth, even if it's like Power Whip does like 58 or so. I can just click Psychic twice to bob this thing, and I click the Psychic upon Mega Evolving. He doesn't let me trace his Regenerator, which is sad, but no big deal. And I do 51 to the incoming Hippo, so it is the death, but it's not careful or anything, I think. I can just Psychic again to either 3-hit KO him, which I will do, or like Encore him into the next attack. He goes for the Toxic, which is kind of annoying, but not the end of the world. And I can just like click hit Power here to bob this fucker. So Hippowdon gone, opens up Specs Aegislash even more, helps Zapdos, because like now I can pretty much freely spam attacks. I can freely spam Thunderbolt, because if Zygarde comes in, I can just bob this with the Life Orb Hidden Power Eyes. Offensive Zygarde dies to that, so that's pretty clean. Ninetales comes in, and I'm like, is this really, like, is this Scarf and wants to bob me with the Blizzard? I don't care. I switch out. No reason not to save my Alakazam. Go into Aggie, and I got a free Flash Cannon here. No, Shadow Ball. I click Shadow Ball, yeah. Expect him to maybe switch out into Tang or so. But yeah, I'm gonna just go for the Shadow Ball, do 82, and die to the thing here. And thinking he's Scarf, I don't Scarf. I don't actually go into Zam to revenge it. He bluffed the Scarf fairly well. He actually isn't Scarf, but I can go into my Pillow Swine, just click Earthquake. Safest play, and he gets up the Aurora Veil, but with Pillow Swine coming in, it covers him being Scarfed, and like then I could have just gone off an Earthquake. But it also covered him being Veil and then like sacking the Alona 9 sets, because then he can't really go into Zygarde because Icicle Crash still 2 KOs the bulky Zygarde behind Veil, so not really his best play there. He goes into Scissor. I go into my Alomomola. I don't want to go hard into Zap because he could have the knockoff, and I wanna soak him first behind the screens here, because my Zapdos doesn't have Heat Wave, and if he's like a SD variant, it could be annoying to deal with without him being soaked. So I just click the soak here. I'm hoping it's not a whack subset, but I really didn't see it coming. So I can click the soak here. His best play is probably switching out into Tang, which he does. So I soak him, which helps Zapdos revenging it. And now I can protect it to burn one more turn of Veil. He goes for the Giga Drain. What I should have done here is Wish up, because Wish would allow me to not be too KO'd by Giga Drain after protected, because obviously because like Giga Drain does 49 max, so I could have walled this Tangrowth to death here, but I also felt like just wishing up the entire time could mean he gets a crit and then kill my Arlo, and without Arlo I have a tough time beating like especially defensive Scissor. So what I felt was my best middle ground play was going into Zapdos here. Even if he knocks off, it's fine. Like I don't really need my life up as long as I have Arlo in the back, because Arlo plus Zapdos beat Scissor 100%. So he knocks off my life. A good play on a knockhead. I wish that I would have gotten the freest Zapdos of my life. I hidden power here first because I want to burn one more turn of Veil, and then I think I go into Alakazam because I don't, as he reveals the Endeavor, which is a cool tech, but my Zapdos wasn't heavily HP invested, so it didn't do much. I go to Zam here because even if he Endeavors, I get the Regenerator back and I burn one more turn of Veil, which means I can revenge it after this turn and have no Veil up on his end, so that's pretty clean. He goes for the Sludge Bomb here, revealing his last move, trying to get a Toxic off on my Zapdos in case I roost. And yeah, I can revenge it here, and Veil burns off, wears off, so good for me. Zygarde comes in, and my best play here is 100% picking Psychic, putting this thing in guaranteed range of Pillow Swine. If it's Coil and no E-Speed, I can I don't even know if I can, like, what the Toxic counter is right now, but if it's Coil, no E-Speed, I can lock it into that after this turn unless I die, and if I like just click Psychic, I put it in guaranteed range of Pillow Swine, so that's clean. I just click the Psychic here. I think I live. And next thing I go for the Psychic, do 28 to Scissor. This is max HP, max attack Scissor or something. Some weird set. Because like the knockoff damage earlier told me that this was like adamant with a lot of attacks, so I thought he might have some speed, but he actually was like just max HP or something. I can go to my Zapdos now, which covers both him roosting up and going to Zygarde. And now Zygarde is in, and I'm like, do I want to HP Ice here or do I want to go hard into Pillow Swine? HP Ice pretty much would have meant that I'd chip him, but then I would have been forced into a sack. Sacking Zam would have probably been my play, but I feel like just like he would have just 1,000 arrows here, or like outraged after the HP Ice, and I feel like click the Z Drake here and bobs my Zapdos. It could have been bad for Scissor because my team doesn't handle Scissor at this point without Zapdos. So I was like, yeah, I pretty much gotta save Zapdos. HP would have been a fine play, but it would have been very risky. So I decided to go into my Pillow Swine. It's still the designated counter. I see Dragon Dance is up because I didn't have my life up here. I couldn't like just attack and win the game from there, but yeah, like HP Ice without life it does like 70 max or so, and this wasn't enough pretty much. So I got to my Pillow Swine and I got the Protect tech here, and if he's Z Superpower, Z Outrage, he probably has to burn it here. He can't really Dragon Dance twice. If he does, I'm gonna sack my Alakazam on the next turn and, on the Z, and then go from there, but I protect, and he actually goes for the Z move here, catching him there. And on the next turn, as he pretty much is forced to Dragon Dance up again, I can Icicle Spear and get 1 hit, get 2 hits, 4 hits, KO this thing guaranteed. I get 3 hits only, but this is not a big deal. He goes for the outrage, just 56. He's out of mana, I bob it with the Icicle Spear. So Pillow Swine doing what it does, and now Scissor comes in. I go hard into Alo in case he is SD. He just knocks off, and I will click the Soak here, and then go hard into my Zapdos and win this game actually with the Thunderbolt. So we are able to slay the Mt Rushmore Slayer with the squad here for the IDM title. Our 10th championship, so nice, nice, what's it called, like, I don't know, fuck it, I'm missing the word here, but it's pretty clean, 10 titles, good number for sure, nice and round number, but yeah, we win a good one. I felt like Nova's prep was pretty solid. He really had a tough matchup in my opinion, because his team like just lacked breaking power versus my Fat, and if I play my Fat correctly, he can't break it at all, and that's what happened kinda. I played Zap, Pillow Swine, and Alo pretty conservatively, just enough for me to clutch out this win. So definitely a good game, and yeah, this is our 3rd consecutive title in the IDM, which means Scotty, like the commissioner, promised me that if I win this league again, I can use Mega Metagross next season, which would be pretty busted. Let's see if he holds true to his words, but it would be pretty hype. If not, I just get Magirna again or something like that. But yeah, definitely a clean win here. I'm very happy with how the squad performed, despite me not playing perfectly all the time. It definitely did its job well, and yeah, it's a nice end to the season. We are now, I think, in over 3 seasons, we are 33-5 in the IDM. So there weren't too many worthy opponents there. Just kidding. Like, I definitely needed some luck on my side to win 3 titles for sure. And the competition is pretty solid, so I can be happy that I got my 3rd title here. So that's the game. There will be a 4th season. I will be back for it for sure. I'm not retiring anytime soon. And yeah, we'll see if I can get Mega Metagross or not. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and a comment, obviously. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. See ya.